Hey everyone, it's Chris back again with another games pickup video. As usual, this one's going to be a doozy, as usual, isn't it always? It's been like maybe 5 months since the last one, maybe longer, and I picked up a lot of stuff. Honestly, it's all a blur to me at this point. I had trouble like gathering all the games up that I haven't showed yet. So yeah, I'll try to give the right info of where I got it and for how much, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and if I happen to repeat a game that I've already shown, forgive me for it, but like I said, every time I go out, it's like I'm gonna hit up my local Goodwill store, and yeah, I usually look for stuff like, well, obviously I like to go for a lot of console exclusives because those are just more collectible and more special, but I do like the multi-platform games as well. And obviously I go for stuff I don't have yet, action adventure, RPGs, you know, anything that's not like sports. Although I do grab like extreme sports style games like, you know, NBA Jam and Tecmo Bowl is kind of not very realistic. So stuff like that I do grab, and the occasional racing game. But yeah, usually I stick to all the genres other than those two. But yeah, anyways, we'll get started and switch over, show you what I picked up. So see you in a second. Alright, hope you guys are ready for this, because it's a doozy. So, I guess we're going to go from older consoles to new. So we'll start with Super Nintendo, and I picked up a really nice lot at Goodwill. So we'll start with this game, which is one I actually was looking to pick up for a while. And that's of course Pilot Wings, because I am a big fan of this series. This was the only Pilot Wings game I didn't have, and spotted it at Goodwill, so I'm like, alright, there we go. So this was $3. In fact, I'm pretty sure all of these SNES games are $3, and I mean, stuff like this isn't worth a ton, but I was glad to pick it up. And next, I found this as well, which is Final Fight, the pretty crappy SNES version, and yeah, I wasn't too excited for this because I already have the superior Sega CD version, but still, it's part of history, so $3, I'd go for it, whatever. Pretty crappy though. It's, you know, it's censored, it doesn't have 2 players, and it's missing Guy. The animation is kind of worse, I believe, but yeah. And now, one of the better finds, Gradius 3, or Gradius, however you pronounce it, the Super Nintendo version. So I do have the Gradius collection on PS2, and that is arcade perfect, I believe. So yeah, this version wasn't super needed, but still, it's cool to have it on Super Nintendo because I love this series, and I'm trying to collect all the games for it. So there's still a couple more I need. I need the Nemesis game on Game Boy. I need probably Gradius 1 on NES, and Life Force on NES, even though I have the Salamander collection on Saturn, which includes the arcade Life Force. But yeah, it's cool to find this for $3. And now here's a big one, real big for me, and that is, don't get too jealous now, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. Again, $3. So yeah, all these are cart only, but this game for $3 is a great deal. I believe this goes for like $40 on eBay, maybe 50 for just the cart. So I was really happy to get this. I do love the Turtles games. I love beat 'em ups, and this is one of the best. It's really good showcase of the SNES as well. So yeah, this was a really good find. Found all these at Goodwill, $3. Score! Alright, next up, let's see, I guess we'll do these PS1 games I picked up. And Goodwill's always a good place to find PS1 games, because I don't know why that is. They have a ton. But anyways, I guess we'll start with the more mundane ones. I'm not sure if I showed these two off yet, but one of these actually my friend Giuliano might have given to me, but I can't remember which one it was, and one of these I got at Goodwill. But got the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater for PlayStation. I do have Tony Hawk HD, but it's cool to have like the original Tony Hawk game. So yeah, and then I also got Tony Hawk 2 for PS1. Now there's better ports of both of these, but like I said, it's cool to have the originals, and I believe my friend Giuliano sent me one of these. I just can't remember which one. Okay, so next up, these are another two that, well, here's the thing. I got both of these, Twisted Metal 2 and Twisted Metal 3. And I believe my friend Jules sent me Twisted Metal 3, but it didn't have an instruction manual. So I found this again at Goodwill with a manual, so I bought it a second time just to replace the manual. So that's cool. And then Twisted Metal 2, I'm pretty sure I bought this at Goodwill. So yeah, like I said, it's all a blur to me. I can't frickin' remember when I bought anything or if someone gave it to me. It's really hard to remember. But let's move on. Next up, we have a game that I had never heard of, but it's pretty interesting concept. It is called Covert Ops Nuclear Dawn. And at first I thought this be like a, like a third-person shooter stealth game, like a Splinter or a Siphon Filter ripoff. But no, it's actually more of like a combination of Resident Evil and Splinter Cell, because it uses pre-rendered backgrounds. But the interesting thing is, it's like a 360-degree picture for a background. So when your character moves around, the background shifts as you move around it. So that's kind of interesting. It's 2 discs. It's a Japanese-developed game. I believe, I'm pretty sure this was made by people who eventually went on to make games in the Siren series. What is that, Sony of Japan or something? So yeah, it's kind of interesting that they made this game first, at least some of them, and then they went on to make the Siren series, and then subsequently Gravity Rush on Vita. So yeah, it's pretty interesting concept. It's kind of dated, but like I said, really interesting. Alright, and next up is another Goodwill purchase, and that is Crash Bandicoot 2. So this is the first physical Crash Bandicoot game I have. I do have all these on PSN, but yeah, I want to collect all these in physical form. I do have Crash Team Racing, but yeah, this is the first actual, main Crash Bandicoot game I have, and part 2 is really good. So yeah, not much to say about that. Naughty Dog developed, and great platformer, great graphics for PS1. And then let's see. Yes, this one is one I already have, but on Sega Saturn, Tomb Raider 1. Yeah, I had this on Saturn, but I also wanted the PS1 version because there's a lot of graphical differences. This version looks better in most ways, but the Saturn version too has some exclusive effects. I believe the water has a distortion effect that's not on this version, and they're slightly different with their pop-in. Like one of them, I think this one, the background, I want to say this one has the backgrounds pop in more aggressively, and the Saturn kind of fades them in more smoothly. But yeah, it's cool to have both versions. I want to get Tomb Raider 3 as well, because I have 1 and 2 now. And I'd like to get the other 2 on Dreamcast, Last Revelations and Chronicles, I believe. So, anyways, next up, This is one I never thought of really trying, but it was at Goodwill for cheap, so I picked it up. As Monster Rancher 2. And honestly, I haven't even tried this yet. I assume it's like a Pokemon style game, but it's made by Tecmo, people who did Ninja Gaiden. So that's kind of interesting, but it's not worth too much. But it's, you know, it's something original. It's not a sports game, so I picked it up. So that's that. That is all the PS1 games I got recently. So we'll move on to a single game that my friend Giuliano sent me again. That guy is so freaking generous. But yeah, this is a game I've been wanting to try. I always remember seeing it back in the day. And that is Shadow Man. And this is the Dreamcast version. I think this was also on PS1, PC, and N64. And I believe this is one of the best versions, probably next to the PC. So I have not tried it yet. I need to try it. It looks really interesting. It's kind of like a third-person action shooter supernatural game, I guess. So should be pretty neat. I'm looking forward to trying it out. So yeah, thanks to my friend Jules once again. Always awesome when he sends me games. Alright, I guess now we'll move on to the PS2 generation, which yeah, I always find a ton of PS2 games at Goodwill. People give these away like crazy. So I'm happy to take them from them. Okay, first one I'll show, or first two, is these. I guess I'll show them both at once. That is, I might have showed these already, but I got Call of Duty Finest Hour and Call of Duty 2, big red one. This is the collector's edition version, which I don't know what, I think there's like making of videos on the disc. But yeah, these are basically the console ports of the PC games, and then this was on 360. So the interesting thing though is these aren't direct ports. These are, you know, their own self-contained games. So they have original campaigns and all. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm not too interested in the newer Call of Duty games, but I do want to collect all of the World War II shooters I can. So I was happy to see these. I would have preferred finding the Xbox versions, but maybe one of these days I will find them on Xbox there. Because, yes, that has happened before. I've found PS2 versions of games, and then the Xbox version showed up, so I bought it again. So anyways, so those two. Now, put these right here. Two more, which I'm not sure, I might have showed these as well, but just in case, I'll show them again. That is two more World War II games, Medal of Honor Frontline and Medal of Honor Rising Sun. So these are the first two that came out on PS2. And yeah, Frontline is basically kind of a redoing of Allied Assault, but it's made by a different team, and once again it has a totally different campaign. So it's kind of like the Call of Duty games where, you know, there's a PC version that's better, and then there's the console ports that have different campaign. So yeah, it's cool to find these. I do like the style of these console ones just because they're made by the team that did the original PS1 Medal of Honor games, and they just have a different feeling to the shooting. It's a different graphics engine. The shooting is more like where you stop and aim and like lean around corners and stuff, kind of like you know, GoldenEye or Perfect Dark or something. And the enemy hit reactions are pretty cool. Whereas the PC version of Medal of Honor Allied Assault is more like a Quake 3 engine, kind of fast-paced shooter. But the PC ones are way more epic, just the scale and all that. So, but it's cool. I love World War II games, so that just adds to the collection. Alright, let's move on. This one, I guess we'll show. This is one of the genres I don't buy a ton of games for, but this is an exclusive for PS2, Gran Turismo 4. And the Gran Turismo series is just known to be one of the best racers ever, and has great graphics that show off the PS2's capabilities. And yeah, I'm not really into simulation racers too much, but this is kind of more special because, you know, it's a Sony exclusive and it really shows off the system. So I picked it up. And yeah, I tried it a little, and the graphics are still really nice for PS2. Okay, next up, I've showed games in this series many times, and every time I go to Goodwill I find another one, and there you go, SOCOM 3 US Navy SEALs. I have SOCOM 1 through 3 now. So I believe there's just another single player one I need to get on PS3, and then there's an online only one which I do have. I bought it for like $1 at GameStop when they're on clearance. I played a little, but not much. But yeah, I'm glad to have all the single player ones now on PS2. Very cool third-person tactical shooter. Squad-based shooter, like Ghost Recon. So anyways, here's one I found yesterday at Goodwill. Not really a major title that I wanted to get, but yeah, State of Emergency for PS2, and this is a Rockstar game. It runs on the same engine as GTA 3 and all those. But yeah, it bombed pretty bad, if I remember back in the day. They touted it as being really violent and controversial. It says, "Warning, check ID." But I remember renting it and I was just like, this is not as horrible. I mean, I guess they thought it was bad because you were like killing people in a mall, but the gore effects were not anything special in my opinion. I think the main draw of this game was the fact that there's so many enemies on screen at once, which was kind of cool. So it's kind of like Dead Rising in a way, where you're just like mowing through crowds. But yeah, it's okay to have for the Rockstar game collection. I want to get all their games eventually. Okay, and now we have one more PS2 game, and that is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. I'm trying to get all the Tony Hawk games as well. So I have 1, 2, 4. So I got to get 3, and then there's 2 Underground games and a bunch of other ones. But yeah, I feel like I might have even shown this on another video. But yeah, what can you say about the Tony Hawk games? They're fun, but there's a ton of them. They came out all the time, so it's not that special, but they're still fun games. Alright, so that is PS2. Let's move on to Xbox Original. So, which one will we start with? And once again, hopefully I haven't showed a lot of these already, but never know which game to start with. We'll just start with this one. This one I found at a Goodwill out of town. That is Crimson Skies, which is a kind of a old school, kind of World War II style plane, but it's in like an alternate universe where it's kind of futuristic too. And yeah, this was an Xbox exclusive. So I believe the original game came out on PC, and this was the sequel. So yeah, it's really cool. I love flight sim type games, and this is more of an an arcadey flight game, but it's very cool. I need to play more of it. Very good graphics and Xbox exclusive, so I definitely was glad to pick that up. And then here's one I found at Goodwill yesterday, another Xbox original exclusive. That is Mech Assault. So obviously a mech combat game. And I believe this is in the Mech Warrior universe. I forget what the name of it was. But yeah, it's pretty neat. Action-y, lots of explosions, kill robots. What more can you say? I never tried the series, but I will try to get into it now. Hopefully find the second game as well. Alright, here's another one I found at Goodwill out of town. And I feel like I have shown some of these, but anyways. Gun for Xbox Original. There's also a 360 version, which I probably would have preferred to find, but for now, I'll just take this one. Because I do want to have more Xbox Original games. And yeah, I mean, this is Wild West game, a third-person shooter. It has kind of some exploration, but it's not open world like Red Dead scale or anything. But yeah, I need to try this. Have not tried it yet. Okay. And then this one, I can't remember. I found it at Goodwill, but yeah, the first Spider-Man game for Xbox. I believe it was the second Spider-Man game that was more well received. I think some people were saying this one wasn't as good as the second, but yeah, I haven't really... Well, I tried it a little, but I just, you know, tried it to see if it works. But yeah, so that's that. And then we got a lot... Actually, Xbox Original is the most games I found recently, so we got a lot more. Alright, next up we'll do this one. That is 007 Everything or Nothing, and I... pretty sure I've showed this one. Yeah, I almost remember. Like I said, it's all freaking blur to me, but yes, I picked this one up recently if you didn't see it in the other video. And yeah, it's a third-person Bond game. It's interesting because it's the only 007 game that has Pierce Brosnan's voice. I mean, they've always used sound-alikes, and there's a lot of games with like Pierce Brosnan's image in it, but this is the only one that has his actual voice. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I showed this. I'm remembering now. But yeah, so we'll move on. Some other ones which I might have showed, but this one, Project Gotham Racing 2. Again, don't normally go for racing games, but this is an exclusive one, so I wanted it. And yeah, it's a well-known racing game on the original Xbox, so I got it. I don't know much about it, though. Then this is another one I found out of town at a Goodwill. That is Ghost Recon Island Thunder, which I think this is the second Ghost Recon game that came out on Xbox. And the interesting thing about this is it had downloadable missions, and I actually have a disc that has both Splinter Cell missions and this game's missions. So that's cool. I can still get the missions, even though original Xbox's online is no more. Alright, so next up, another game I might have showed already, but I don't care. I'll show it again. Turok Evolution. This is the fourth Turok game, at least the fourth single-player one. And yeah, I have Turok 1, 2, and now this. I need to get Turok 3 on N64. Maybe I'll find it at Goodwill, or maybe I'll have to buy it on eBay. But yeah, this is a pretty cool one. I believe the Xbox version here is the best port of it. Has better graphics and probably better frame rate, I'm assuming. Alright, so now we're going to show you some games that I already showed you. This is an example of I bought the game on PS2 at Goodwill, and then later on found it on Xbox Original. And I found these yesterday, the whole lot. So here you go. The Medal of Honor games again. So we got Frontline again. We got Rising Sun. And this one I don't have yet. European Assault, which is the third one, I believe. And then there's a fourth one called Vanguard, which is the last one that was released on this generation. But yeah, I was glad to get Frontline because this was my favorite, and the Xbox version is the best one, best frame rate. And I did compare this Medal of Honor Rising Sun to the PS2 version I have, and the main difference is this one just has better load times, better frame rate, better textures. I looked at two of the same walls, and this one was way more defined, where the PS2 is kind of blurred out. And that's typical of PS2 ports. They have worse textures because I believe it has less memory for textures. But the interesting thing is this Xbox version has worse particle effects, and that's another thing. The PS2 had the strength with particle effects, and you saw a similar thing with Silent Hill 2 on Xbox versus PS2. Silent Hill 2 looked better on Xbox in a lot of ways, but the fog effects were weaker because Xbox Original's particle effects just weren't as good. And this I have not tried yet. I'm actually going to try to play through this, and then this. So yeah, I'm sure this one is pretty cool as well. This one sounds like it has some cool features too. Just the fact that the battlefields are more open. It has some sort of like adrenaline feature, it says. But yeah, I want to try this. And oh, the interesting thing about this game as well, Rising Sun, it has a 2-player co-op mode that's split screen. So that's pretty cool. I'd like to try that out. So if I can get someone willing to play an old school game like that, co-op that is. But okay, we're almost done here. It's a long video, I know. What are we at, like almost 25 minutes? So these final 2 are current gen games, or rather current gen handheld games. Here you go. Got Super Mario, or New Super Mario Brothers 2, and Bravely Default. Now, let's move these out of the way as well. So, I was kind of wanting these games anyways, but I hastened my purchase because, as a lot of you know, Club Nintendo is shutting down. I believe you can you can't redeem your Club Nintendo points after the end of this month. And the program ends in June, I believe, completely. So I was close to platinum status, so I'm like, okay, I might as well buy the games that I was going to buy anyways. So, and then of course people will say, oh, you only bought the games for Club Nintendo points? No, I didn't. I bought them because I wanted them anyways, and I just decided it was a good time. But Bravely Default, it's basically like an old school Square Enix RPG. I guess it was originally going to be in the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles series, but then they changed the name. I'm not sure why, but it really feels like a old school PS1 Final Fantasy because it has, you know, 3D character models and kind of 2D-ish backgrounds. They're kind of 3D and kind of not. It's like static camera angles, so it does feel a lot like stuff like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9. Probably more towards 9 because it's kind of medieval. And yeah, it has a nice 3D effect, and I kind of wanted this anyways because of the new 3DS coming out, and this is a great game to play on it. And this too, I do love the new Super Mario Brothers games, but I guess this one wasn't that well received because it was just more of the same. It wasn't that innovative. But still, the Mario games are always fun. So yeah, that is it. My huge, huge haul. Hope you guys weren't too bored by this video. In the future, I'm thinking of maybe doing like either a full video of my collection again, or I'm thinking of maybe doing system by system. Perhaps starting with, you know, the Xbox original games, because I do have a lot of the Xbox original now, and I'd like to show you guys my full collection. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, what I should do next. I'm open to any ideas. I want to know what you guys want to see. So anyways, I'll let you guys go. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. So, peace out everyone. Peace.